This is the FolkSinger, and today I'm just going to look at a C major chord, and I'm going to play it in what's usually the standard first position. I'm going to put the ring finger on the 5th string, 3rd fret, the 2nd finger on the 4th string, 2nd fret, the 3rd string is open, and the 1st finger on the 2nd string in back of the 1st fret. And I can play all of the 6 strings because the highest string is automatically an E and the lowest one is automatically an E. Although sometimes in playing the C chord in the way I'm going to play it, you would make the E, the lower string, become the G, like that. Here it's an E, here it's a G. This is the C chord. Now I'm going to use my thumb on my right hand and then 2 of my fingers. Sometimes I'll use 3 of the fingers, but my thumb, the fingers, the thumb again on the 3rd of the chord, and get a kind of a rhythm going. And then I'm going to pick up my middle finger from the 4th string and get a sound that sounds wrong, but I'm going to quickly put the finger back so I get this. And by alternating the other 2 fingers, I can get quite a nice sound like this. Just repeating that simple pattern, we could sing a song. For instance, John Henry was a little baby sitting on his papa's knee. Only took a hammer and a little piece of steel. Hammer gonna be the death of me. You see, the pattern's quite simple, but it sounds a little bit complex. Now, I want you to think, though, about the first position. Here's your C, here's your E, here's your G, here's the other C. But if you lift these fingers off the strings, you get a different note. You get an A where the C was. And you could take your fingers and work your way up. Where the E is, if you take your finger off, you get a D. That's what we were changing, a D to an E, when you did this. And where you have a C with your 1st finger, if you take it off, you have a B. If you put your pinky down where you had an E, you get a G up here. Now you can play around a lot with a chord like that, adding and subtracting those notes. You can play around with the B, make it a C, and you can even make it a D with the pinky. And then lift up with the pinky, get your E on the outside and make it a G on the 1st string. So you can almost walk up a scale. You can even take the 1st finger that's on the C and lay it down a bit and catch this E and make it an F. So you can play around with the C chord and get lots of different sounds. You can get the scale. Your hand has not moved from its position, but you're utilizing the ability to play around with the fingers, and you can combine the playing around with the fingers with the scale. And then you can sing a song like John Henry. John Henry was a little baby, sitting on his papa's knee. Only took a hammer and a little piece of steel. Hammer gonna be the death of me. Hammer gonna be the death of me. Hammer gonna be the death of me. A hammer gonna be the death of me. You can see that's just one chord, but using the notes from the scale that are around that chord. John Henry had a little woman. Her name was Polly Ann. John Henry got sick, had to go to bed. Polly Ann drove steel like a man. Polly Ann drove steel like a man. There are lots of verses, so I'm not going to sing them all, but you get the idea. Play around with C in the first position.